Well, let me tell ya. Oops, curb check. I got my second beerfluenza shot. No ill effects other than this big thing growing out of my head. Ha ha ha. Oop, I guess I could have gone that way. A lot of people are participating. Clay County, Missouri is like really on the ball, and I think a lot of it has to do with North Kansas City Hospital, working with Cerner here, and a lot of volunteers, and a lot of people have made this a smooth operation. It's a smooth operation. And I'm trying not to run over anybody. Oops. I should have gone the other way. And I highly recommend, if you haven't started the process, I think today is the day that they're opening it up to everyone. I am so happy. I said this the last time. I'm going to say it again. I am so happy that the adults are in charge now. It makes such a huge difference in this world. So instead of being like dead last, except in the numbers of dead, we are now leading the world. Now, I know this isn't the same everywhere. There's a lot of places that are behind the eight ball on this. And can I throw in a few more puns here? But I think it's true, and I personally know. Asked them, have you gotten your shot? Like the one person in particular, have you gotten your first shot? And I'm asking this question because they're a family member, and I need, we kind of need them to get their shot so that we can move on with our lives, And this will be the first person to complain about us not coming out to visit and stuff. And I'm like, well, now that we've gotten our shots, my wife has gotten both hers, I have both of mine, we feel much better about it. We'll probably not be so. But go to get the shots, and the answer really is no. I don't want to get the shots because the people I hang out with are against it. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go this way. And I know of another person who's against it. I'm not faulting him. I understand where he's coming from, what his opinion is about, and I respect it. And I'm hoping that enough of us can get vaccinated that it'll cover the rest of us. However, maybe this one doctor who's running the CDC now is a bit overreactive, but I don't think so. I think she's right on the mark when she's very concerned about this stuff because of the they're calling it variants, but the variant is these viruses. They tend to mutate. That's how they survive. They get they evolve with time, and they become harder and harder to deal with, and they become strong, infectious, and to spread and to kill. That's how they take over the world. Why does a virus want to kill its host? Because well, no, a virus doesn't think in terms of, oh, I got quality of life, and it doesn't think at all. A virus is a mechanism that's only purpose is to replicate itself. And if making the host really sick and dying makes it to where it can replicate itself much better, so people who don't want to, who are listening to foolish politicians and don't want to participate in this because it's a quote unquote, air quotes here, government plot, are playing with fire. And, you know, I hate to sound judgy or everything, but maybe it'd be poetic justice if they find out, oh, well, yeah, we gave you the opportunity to get your shot, but now you can't. Now it won't work because the variants, the mutations have gotten so strong. But those people who have gotten their shots like they should have built up immunity over time. And the problem is when people all of a sudden dawns on them that the scientists are most probably right, and the science is there if they only do some real research and listen, not just listen to the loudmouths and the stupid politicians, they might discover, oh, I really need to go get the shot, but it might be too late. But because by the time the superbug hits, you know, the way this works is you get a shot, and it takes your body a little while to build up the antibodies. And if you do it at the last second when the superbug is hitting, it's already too late. You're dead. And yeah, well, you know, that politician sure was worth your life to listen to him. It was just worth your child's life, worth your parents'. It was worth killing off your whole family just to listen to this politician who was wrong. But say scientists who've dedicated their whole lives in the study of this stuff. So, if people are understating their concern, you know, I mean, people in the bureaucratic and the scientific community are understating their concern as to what kind of disaster we could be dealing with, I wish they would stop. I wish they would just come out and say, hey, I don't mean to you. You better get your shot because you don't know what's around that corner. And the problem is if 40% of Americans decide that they don't want to get a shot, they might be the downfall of all of us, whether we got our shot or not. As you don't want. There was a variant, they called it. It was much more contagious. You know, I knew what was coming next. Now there's a South African variant that's not only more contagious but deadlier. So let me say it again. Superbug. It's only a matter of time. And people who decide that they don't want to participate might be making a decision that's affecting millions of lives, billions of lives in the world. Because, you know, the first one is just to replicate itself. The second one is it's nature's way of cutting down on population control. It's one of nature's ways. We as human beings have faced this before. We'll face it again. The science is there. History is there. If you don't believe science, read your history. And if you want to play with fire, go ahead. But please don't play with my life, my kids' life, my family's life. Almost everyone in my family is doing what they should. And we don't deserve to be taken down. I mean, and speaking about the idiot politicians, even members of my family, I don't know what this car is doing. That was crazy, lady. But even the members of my family who were diehard in the wool Trump supporters went knocking on doors for him and everything else because they actually listened to the science. And that's encouraging. And they're not running around scared. They just did what they had to. They did what they're supposed to do. I don't know if my favorite diner up here, one of my favorites, is opened and indoor eating. We shall find out. I gotta move my arm around. I don't know if that's a Band-Aid or here I am going on a rant. Watch, I have the side effects. We had side effects, me and my wife, from the flu shot of all things. And we have to go to the doctor and see a doctor about that. But the beer influenza stuff, nah. So, anyways, enough said about the 40 some odd percent. How about it'll come down to 30 something percent, which correlates roughly with the number of people who are completely listening to the idiot politicians. Notice I don't want to do this. I'm sorry. I'll get to when they open their dining room. I guess there's a size limitation. I don't know if places that are a certain size, you can't really socially distance, and they're just not allowed to open their dining rooms at all. But enough people get their shots, then that will change. They'll open everything up. We can only hope. And again, I'm going to say it. The people that are destroying that are the people who refuse to do what they're supposed to be doing. If that's like 40% of all Americans, then they're just beer influenza, depression. And the doctors are saying that one of the things they're hoping to do is they're hoping to there's enough shots now. We've had a very successful rollout, and I thank the adults who took over for that. And the politician or the doctors are now saying that, well, we have enough of these shots around that we need to get them into the hands of physicians so that when people come to see their doctor, the doctor will ask them, have you had your COVID shot? And they say no. Then the doctor can talk to them, doctor to patient, and that'll have, they're saying the research has shown that those who are hesitant doctor in person, doctors usually have a much better success rate of convincing them. And I hope so. I really do. Because I'm hoping this all gets better. we've had this rollout, and it's ahead of what they've predicted. They've been predicting gloom and doom, and now with this rollout and everybody getting their shots now, and everybody eligible to get their shots, there's no excuses. When I talk to people and I say, "Have you gotten a shot?" and they say no, I know the reason why is because they don't want to, not because they can't, because they don't want to. And the more you prolong it, the harder it gets, because I'm very happy with the way Clay County, Missouri has done it. And they were very organized. The application was so easy to use. And you say, well, you're just savvy with the electronics. And like, no, I'm not that savvy. You can ask anyone. I'm all thumbs when it comes to that stuff. But in this particular case, it was only asked a few questions. At first, I was a little suspicious. I was like, who's asking me all this? It was here in Clay County, it's called Operation Safe. And when I was getting these text things from them, please respond to this, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to respond only because there's really no harm in it. It might help. And when I did respond, to my joy, my pleasure, what was it, about March 15th, when they opened it up to second tier, and I happened to fall in second tier, I had an appointment that day. So I showed up for my appointment, got my beer flu shot. And then it said come back in 3 weeks. Well, it's 3 weeks later. I showed up again and got my second beer flu shot. And it wasn't a lot of interference in my life, wasn't a whole lot of questions. It was very smooth, very, very well organized. And so yeah, why not? I think people are talking about this threat from Big Brother. It's not going to materialize, but what may materialize will be the real threat: a mutated superbug. And like I say, you watch. When that gets out, oh my God, there's a superbug going around. It's a killer. It's killing just about every one of its victims. Yeah, a line 10 miles long to get in. They'll have to have riot police, because there'll be violence and people, let me have my shot now. And they'll be like, it doesn't make any difference, because your body takes a couple of weeks to build up the antibodies. Well, in that amount of time, you'll be exposed. And just start playing taps now. I hope you have good life insurance. It doesn't matter, because so many people will die that the life insurance companies will go broke. That's a doomsday scenario brought to you by these days, if we haven't figured it out, nature is trying to kill us. And that might be because there's too many of us. And unfortunately, the rule in nature is that the fittest will survive. Well, the fittest are the people, first of all, who are smart and listen to logic, not the ones who run off with superstition and don't do what they're supposed to do. And I've heard some people say, well, my life is miserable. I'm not going to get it. I hope I get it. I say, first off, suffocating to death is not the ideal way of dying. Secondly, you are thinking only about how miserable you are and only about yourself, but you're not thinking about other people around you, because you won't just get it by yourself. You'll spread it. And maybe somebody who really wants to live and deserves to live, thanks to you. And get your beer flu shot now. Your 2 shots or your 1 shot or whatever it is. Get it. Don't turn it down. Don't be a fool. As of late, it's become a recurring theme in my life, and I've heard it said before by many people, and I didn't want to believe it, because I've been a person who has done this as well, where I'm convinced that my life is my own and people should just mind their own business, and I'm not affecting anybody but me. And now it's like the comeuppance, I guess, is that that's not true at all. We create ripples and we affect everyone around us, whether it's poor hygiene or poor health habits. Our lives are not our own. If you get sick with this stuff, you're going to make other people sick. And maybe you'll recover. But the chances are really good that some of those people you make sick, maybe your family members, will not recover, will not be fine. So it's not just up to you, it's your responsibility. Responsibility meaning that you have to respond. It's not that I can do it what I want, I can do it when I want. No, you have to. That's not somebody threatening your cherished liberties or freedoms. That's just reality. There's really only one freedom in this world, and that is the freedom to take the opportunity to be responsible. And people misunderstand the nature of freedom. They think it's the ability to be able to do what you want, when you want, however you want. No. Never has been, never will be. The ultimate dream of all people is to be able to take care of ourselves. Is not to be a dependent. And I see people left and right trading their freedom for I guess if you can find somebody who will support you and allow you to run around and do what you want and pay for it all. But that's not freedom. That's not satisfying. That's just dependency. Most people I've met who are dependent end up not being able to do anything. They sleep. Their idea of living is watching a TV and sitting on a couch. My wife said it best when I was unemployed and was hit by a car and everything, and all this bad luck stuff happened to me the same time period. And she said, dependency really sucks. Nobody really wants it. So, yeah, people are confused, I think, about freedom. They think, well, I'll find a sugar daddy to take care of me. It's like, that's not freedom. It's invariably that sugar daddy is going to want you to do some things. People aren't going to do things for nothing. It's just human nature. I'm going to try this place out if their dining room is open, and I'm going to have some brunch like I really need it. I need it like another hole in my head. If their dining room isn't open, I know a place whose dining room is open. And I've discovered I like their food. Gee, I hope I'm going the right way. I don't think it's the other way. I think it's this way. It might. Alright, can I turn here? Will it let me? Will these people let me? No, I can't do that. Can't see through the sign and the cars. Alrighty. It looks like an old Pizza Hut. All day breakfast. Breakfast. I wonder if I can find a shady spot to park the car. I can see by the number of suckling pigs at the big Piglet. Face masks are required to enter. Oh yeah, I see some shade over here. Maybe I can park over here. I think by the number of cars that are, the piglets that are parked at the mother pig, you can't park here. Yes, I can. Oh, it says deliver parking only. Well, that's Succotash's. That there's indoor dining. I need to finish my thought here. Customer parking. Unauthorized vehicles will be blah 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 blah. No through truck traffic. Sign everywhere. A sign. I'm gonna park in this one spot here. I don't know if all these cars here are parked for the diner. And people are just so hungry for indoor seating, indoor dining. Yeah, I really hope that people are wise and they don't listen to fools and gamble their lives away and drag this stuff out. Everybody is. And I don't think we're being nosy and busybodies or anything. I think we're just being like mature. Well, anyway, let's eat.